Dr. Courtney here. I'm going to come on and talk about low back tension and stiffness, especially after sitting all day at work. A lot of us don't have the same work setup as we do at our jobs, at home, so I'm going to give you a couple of options for that too. So if you have an exercise ball at home, that's a great option. You want to keep mobile and dynamic. That's the key. So if you have a standing desk, that's great. If you have a ball, that's awesome. Even if you have a standing desk, you don't want to stand the entire time. You want to vary it. So go from standing to sitting, move around. If you don't have either of those two things, the gold standard is to get up and walk around every 20 minutes. I know that's not realistic when you're in the zone and when you're working. So get up at least every hour and just take a lap. And then the other thing is, if you don't have either of those options and you're stuck sitting for a bit of time, make sure you're sitting up on your sit bones. So your sit bones are your ischial tuberosities, these bony protrusions here at the bottom of your pelvis. If you're sitting on a hard surface, more than likely you can feel them digging into the floor. So what ends up happening is people often slouch and round their pelvis. So if this is the front of your body and this is the back of your body, what you do is you roll back onto the pelvis and you end up sitting on the tailbone and the sacrum. And this can cause a lot of stress and strain on the low back, especially in that L4-5 region here. So make sure that your pelvis is neutral and you're sitting up nice and tall. So even if you do all those things and at the end of the day you're still feeling like, oh, a little stiff, then I'll give you a couple of mobility things that can help ease that tension. So the first is cat-cow. This is used in yoga, this is used in rehab, this is a great just mobility exercise. So hands flat on the floor, hips right over your knees, and what you'll want to do is tuck your pelvis, drop the head, and you're going to press your mid-back spine up to the ceiling. And then you're going to drop your belly button down to the floor, lift the head and chest. And then, so you're going to take an exhale as you move in this direction in the cat pose. And then inhale as you come back to cow. And you can do this however, do it about 10 times, that feels good, or do it for however long it feels good to do. If you have pain, move in your pain-free ranges. The next thing I'm going to show you is just a side stretch. Often our sides get tight and we forget about stretching to the side and opening up between the rib cage and our pelvis. So take a big breath in, take it over to one side, exhale here, and then inhale again and really feel the stretch all along the rib cage and the side body. And then inhale back up to center, take it over to the other side. And you want to make sure when you're doing your side stretch, as you come through center, your shoulders are right over the hips. You're not leaning forward and then going to the side, it's right over. And you can do that a few times, typically around 3 each time, holding around 30 seconds to a minute. And then the last thing is a piriformis stretch. And this you can do seated in a chair, you can do in this position that I'm in here, and you can do it lying down. So I'll show you in this position and lying down. So you're going to take your left ankle and put it over your right knee, or it doesn't matter if you're doing it at home, you'll do both sides. But I'll just do the one for showing purposes. And then you're going to sit up nice and tall and lean your chest towards your shin. Now from doing yoga for a long time, I'm pretty flexible. You might not get this far. So it's okay if you're more spread out, that's fine. And you're gonna feel that in the glute, maybe a little bit into the IT band, but mostly in the butt. And so what happens is when our butt gets tight, especially the piriformis, it can pull on other structures, that lead to the back and restrict motion. So this is good to release that. And then you can also do the same thing on your back. So you'll lie flat on your back. You'll bring your knee in towards your chest and just breathe there. And you'll do that for 30 seconds to a minute, and you can do that a few times as long as it feels good. All right, well, I hope that helps. Thanks. Bye.